Hi, Jeremy here, Modern Vitality. In today's video, we're looking at optimization versus recovery. Why I'm making this video is because I've seen so many people come through and they're trying 10,000 different things to try to get their health back, right? Fibromyalgia, Lyme disease, mold illness, chronic fatigue syndrome, adrenal fatigue, candida, Epstein-Barr. We now have long haulers, right? That's kind of a new one. Any of these autoimmune conditions, I get it. It's frustrating. You've got crazy symptoms all day long and you feel like your body's out of your control. And so you start to try kind of anything, right? What I want to give you in this video is a way to start to divide up the things you're looking at doing, at least into two piles, and then you know which pile to start with. All right, this will help cut down the overwhelm, help you get a little more strategic around how you're taking care of yourself, and hopefully it'll get you better results that last. All right, let's get started. So the first thing to do is to define our terms. So I've got these two words here, optimization and recovery. So we'll start actually with recovery. Recovery is when you're in a pit. Okay, you got all the weird symptoms going on, exhaustion, brain fog, you've got weird pains, maybe you're swelling or your fluid metabolism is just blown out, libido changes, sleep problems, there's mood issues, right? Anxiety, depression, all that stuff. It tends to come as kind of like a package. And then we also have digestive issues. I mean, you start looking at this and basically any system of the body is going to be expressing disharmony, right? And that can come in all different ways. People get real itchy. There's all kinds of things. Cold hands, cold feet, sometimes cold body, sometimes they're sweating all the time, right? It's pretty wild. So you got your whole symptom pile going on and obviously you don't feel good, okay? Whatever your disease diagnosis, or maybe you don't have one, it doesn't even matter, right? We're looking at this, that's the recovery stage where you're trying to dig yourself out of the pit and get to like baseline normal human function, right? Normal, as normal as we can get, right? Something like that. Not perfect, normal. Now, optimization is for when you're already feeling basically normal, and then you're working on optimizing, right? Which is kind of like trying to approach perfect. I know this is kind of a weird thing to say, but people do this where they're trying to optimize their systems. They're trying to get the most out of their systems. They're trying to get the most energy possible. They're trying to be extremely efficient, right? This is where a lot of the biohacking kind of stuff lives. I've done other videos on how biohacking will mess you up. And one of the reasons why is because a lot of times biohacking is for people who are already like at baseline normal and just trying to do a little bit, they're trying to overclock their system, or they're trying to get a little bit more of this minute change out of their body or their brain or whatever. That doesn't tend to work very well when you're in the pit, right? And you need to like rehabilitate yourself, okay? So you got to understand this. The trouble is there's so much stuff on the market out there. And it's so easy to advertise now on social media and everything. So you see all these supplements and silver bullets and all these things kind of coming at you. And they all promise the same things, don't they? Vitality, lots of energy, right? Oh, I'm getting stronger now. I'm sleeping better. I'm having sex all the time, right? All this stuff, it's all the same promises, right? But there's different ways to get there. So if you're in recovery mode, you need recovery solutions to get there. If you're in optimization mode, you can do with optimization type solutions. And this is one of the big kind of tragic mistakes I've seen is so many people kind of come into my world or I look at their health history and they've spent so much time and money and energy and effort and morale on pursuing solutions, which is good, okay? Never give up. Keep trying. That's the best thing. I want to reframe that immediately. You're not a failure if the stuff you've done before didn't work, right? It's mainly probably because you didn't understand these distinctions that I'm laying out here, right? But they've done a lot of work on optimizing strategies like neurofeedback, right? Brain training, these kinds of things. When really they've been in recovery mode, okay? You just don't get as much leverage out of that stuff when you're in recovery mode. You got to dig out of the pit first. How do we do this? Well, I've got a 4-stage process that I use that I found works very well. It's based on ancient Eastern medicine, and it's something that I didn't even learn in school, right? It's not part of the standard training for Chinese medicine and Eastern medicine, but it's something that through different mentors, I've been able to put together some pieces and flesh things out. And now we've got a very strong working model, but your body has basically an order of operations, right? Stage 1, immune, stage 2, digestion, stage 3, neuroadrenal, stage 4, blood circulation, right? It's not a key to a lock. It's a combination lock that needs the right things in the right order. That's how you dig out of the pit. I've done a video called The Abyss. You should look at the Abyss video. It breaks this down in more detail about literally how to take these steps and get yourself out of that pit. But all 4 of those stages, that's all recovery stuff, right? That's how we start to build up our vitality and get our health back and start to unblock, whether it's pathogens, biofilms, gut dysbiosis. You could just have rampant inflammation for seemingly no reason, right? You're doing all these things. Nervous system's overwhelmed. You could have blood circulation issues where your body's not really directing the blood flow everywhere it needs to go, right? All these little problems, you start to unblock all this stuff. And then what you find is you get to this baseline normal. And if you introduce at that point biohacking things or some of these supplements or brain training or whatever, nootropics, right? Little like nootropics, it's like supplements and herbs and things that help with brain function, right? Supposedly gives you more clear thinking and cognitive abilities, right? Which I'm a fan of. I like those. But again, at the right time, so if you can get yourself out of the pit, if you can do the recovery work and then the optimization work in that order, right? So down here, stages 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you hit that baseline normal, then it's where we look at, okay, how can we optimize your mitochondria, right? That's very cool. You don't start there though. Unfortunately, it's not that easy. We have to work our way up. It's a structure. This is the basement, right? That's underground. And then you build the house on top, right? You don't want to build the house in the hole, the ground. I can use as many metaphors as you want. Here's another one, right? Dinner, dessert, okay? Dinner is eating the actual foods that are going to nourish your body, right? Broccoli and, whatever else, like you're eating your healthy dinner. And then dessert is a little bit of cake, That's the cherry on top, right? That's all the biohacking stuff. That's all the boosting. That's all the supplements. That's probably most of the stuff you see advertised to you on social media, right? It actually belongs in that section. You don't want to skip dinner and go straight to dessert. You'll get a tummy ache, right? It's not good. It doesn't work so well. I hope this helps you, because one of the worst things is when people try up here and they're doing the right thing, but it's at the wrong time, right? It's the wrong thing for them right now. Yeah. And then, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for me the way it worked for the people in the ad, or my cousin or my coworker who recommended it, or whatever. Something must be really wrong with me. Or I've tried so many things. I tried this and it was like my last hope. And I did the brain training thing because I thought maybe that was going to do it. Didn't work, right? Now I really am out of hope. Now my morale is at rock bottom. We don't want that, right? Most of my job when people come into my world is to help them understand why what they've done so far hasn't worked the way it should have. And once you have a comprehensive understanding of the 4 stages, right? Immune, digestive, neuroadrenal, blood circulation, those 4 stages in order, you can start to see why maybe you did the right thing at the wrong time, why it didn't get the results that it should have. And then what's really cool is that we don't have to write off that thing, right? You just pause it and save it for when you're at the appropriate level. When you're actually in optimization stage, then you unleash all that stuff, right? Then your self-care takes on a whole new exponential level where you're doing all these cool things with your brain waves and whatever else. So I would encourage you to never give up, and also don't treat yourself like a failure just because whatever you tried didn't work as well as it should have. It's not your fault, and it's not the fault of the therapy either. It's that nobody was there to actually create the connection of if that was a good idea or not. Right? So that's some of what we do in our group. If you're dealing with a complex chronic health condition, you may consider applying for guest status in the Modern Vitality Solutions and Support Group, which is free, right? It's free to join as a guest. The link is in the description below this video. You've got a bit of an application there. I want to hear from you. I want to learn about your case. I want to learn about your personality a little bit. If you look like a great fit for our group and our culture and our approach to healing, then I'll let you know as soon as I can and get you in the group. There may be a bit of a wait. We do tend to fill up. I keep it cozy so I know who I'm talking to. You can ask me anything in there. I'll give you my perspective. You can start to bond and make friends with people all over the world that are going through a logical system of healing that makes sense and feels right. And you get to see their wins and you get to see the bad days, right? You get to see people who are making all this progress and then something happens and they crash. And then you get to see how we troubleshoot that in real time. It's pretty cool, right? So I'll keep an eye out for your application. In the meantime, you might want to subscribe to this channel. You might want to click the little like button for this video. Why would you do that? Well, it helps me with the channel, sure. It helps other people find this kind of thinking, which is nice of you to share that. And the third thing is for you, it trains the algorithm. So if you want YouTube to show you videos that matter to you, that help you, then you need to start interacting and click the bell and whatever else so that it knows you like this stuff. That way you're not just watching, mindless cat videos or whatever, which is fine. You can do that, of course, right? I've been there myself. Don't want to give them up entirely, right? It's good to have a little bit of release and kind of escapism. And at the same time, you can really leverage the power of the internet to show you things that are going to move your life in substantially different directions. But sometimes you do have to click a bell for that. All right, I hope this helps you. Let's get you feeling better. Cheers.